Hello, I'm Edith Bowman.
And I'm Michelle Collins.
And welcome to On the Box, the podcast where we celebrate the latest releases and most loved shows on BritBox and beyond.
And I know that we are over the moon about this week's episode because we are joined by the star of the Other Bennet Sister, and she's in a million other things, but she's the brilliant Ella Bruccoleri.
We are properly going to fangirl. I'm going to apologise now to everybody and to you and to her. I'm such a fan. I think she makes this show. There's lots of great things about it, but I really think she makes it.
The truth is, there is no show without this girl. And we just had Ruth Jones on, and we're obsessed with her, and we're going to talk to Ella about Ruth as well. But she is, genuinely star power. Like, I didn't know who she was before watching it, and as everyone knows, I binged it straight through, and I'm obsessed with her. I'm just like, where did this brilliant actress come from? And we're going to find that out and so much more.
Absolutely, because it's that weird thing where she's had sort of like smaller roles and lots of other kind of little things, but this is the thing that's projected her to the front finally, and we can really celebrate her. So you might have seen her call The Midwife or Bridgerton as well, but this is like really her kind of proper moment, deservedly right now for her. How are you?
God, I'm so glad someone asked me that. I'm great. Thank you. I start to cry. No, I'm actually good. I'm in Miami right now, which you can see the sun beating down on my aging face, but things are great here. You know, I want to bring up something with you because when the camera flipped on today, I noticed that the beautiful Edith Bowman was sporting a new, very short, very chic haircut. And I just want to say, as a haver of a bob myself, I think it's one of the best moves any woman can do in their life. You got to try the bob out at one point. How are you feeling? You look great.
I love it and genuinely was inspired by you. I nearly waited until you were here to get you to cut it for me.
I will. I'm not kidding. You know, I'm going to be there in a few weeks and I bring all my stuff. Oh, Edith, please. It would be a dream for me to cut your hair.
Whilst you cut my hair. But it was really funny. I kind of went in to get I'm so bad at all that stuff, you know, that kind of like self kind of maintenance. And anyway, I went in to see Sally to get my color done, and Lottie was going to cut it. And she's like, "What are we doing?" I was like, "Oh, just take it off." And I love it. It's great, but I'm scared to wash it. It's like 3 days since I had it cut now, and I love how she styled it as well as how she cut it. And now I'm so scared that when I wash it, I'm just going to cry because I'm not going to be able to get it to look like how she made it look.
Yeah. It does look very cute. I mean, if it makes you feel better, my hair is also unwashed, so we have that in common. And there's only so much dry shampoo can do. My issue is that I have so much hair, which does sound like a brag, but I think people need to understand, you know, it's always greener on the other side of the fence. It is so difficult, to style it, but even when I'm getting it cut, the amount of work that has to go into it so that I don't look like a serial killer with like a crazy, blunt, thick, chopped wig. It takes hours. And that's why I learned to cut my own hair, because every time I would get it done, I would leave. There was never enough time in the books for what they scheduled me for to do the proper job. So I always have to be the one to kind of finish it off.
You ever thought, I've always wanted to have like a little kind of wig collection, but it's never, I've never like, I wouldn't know where to get one, but I quite like that sort of like, you know, dressing up thing of going, who am I going to be today?
You know, I've only ever had wigs on Halloween. And funny enough, they were always little bobs because I never thought that I could pull this cut off myself when I was younger. And I always felt like Natalie Portman in Closer. Remember how she just had that
with
pink
Jude Law.
bob? Yes. Very sexy movie, by the way. But every time I put it on, I was like, I'm like a femme fatale. It can completely change your personality, hair in general.
Yeah, I think I need to do some inquiries about the wigs and have a bit of fun with it. That'd be great.
Maybe BritBox will send us money to buy wigs for the show because they're not cheap.
I think it should be a new marketing thing. They could, instead of sending us, it's funny because we're going to talk about the Other Bennet Sister, and we both got sent these amazing little kind of promotional boxes with letters, writing materials, and a nice pen and stuff. Wigs. Let's think of a good show that the marketing promotional items can be wigs.
I mean, they need to do their own version of Drag Race, basically, but with old, it's like 18th century Drag Race. What would that look like? Very kind of Emily from Little Britain, you know, but I'm a lady, like a little bit of that, a little bit of, you know, Little Bo Peep with her staff. Like we need some of that energy, I think, on BritBox, my opinion.
I know what I wanted to ask. I know you are coming over here quite soon.
Yes.
Are you going to do any shows here whilst you're here, like stand-up shows?
Well, thank you for asking. At the moment, I don't have anything scheduled because in my mind, I'm like, this is vacation, even though I work every day. But the only place I've ever really performed in London has been at the Soho Theatre. And that's something that you really have to, it's an amazing venue, but you really have to
Yeah.
schedule that far out in advance. So I assure you, if that happens, you will be the first person to know. But I do love performing in London. It was a dream of mine growing up to be able to. I remember the first time I saw my name, and this is a very Countess Luann moment for those who watch Housewives. But the first time I saw my poster up at the Soho Theatre, it was of any show I've ever done, like the biggest kind of heart racing excitement to see like my face in London, a city that I grew up being obsessed with and loving, and it's overseas, was a big career moment for me for sure.
I'd love to come and see you do stand up, whether that's in London or maybe
I
another New
know.
York trip sort of thing as well. It's kind
Ugh,
of,
I think you'd be
yeah.
impressed, yeah. But what's your summer plan, Edith? What is it looking like? Because you have the children, you've got your husband. Where are you going? What's the idea?
We are so my husband, who's a musician, he's just finished a tour, but
Mm.
then he's got some festivals over the summer. So we're actually going to go and do a little bit of popping over to a few European places to watch him. So Italy and Belgium to watch some shows.
Wait,
Um,
exciting.
which should be great. Yeah. And then maybe up to Scotland, visit some family, hopefully. And then, oh, just being at home. I love kind of just, hanging out over the summer and seeing people and not making too many plans really. But I do. The one thing that I really want to do this summer, I'm really bad at organizing holidays. We never really do like regular family vacations,
Mm.
but I really want to eat just a week this summer. I really want to take like a proper, the four of us, family vacation. And I started looking at it the other day and I got so overwhelmed
Yeah.
by making a decision on where you go, how you accommodate for a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old. And it's kind of like, ah. So I sent an email today to a recommendation, a lady that I got an email from who's like I don't know what she's, a travel consultant agent or something. I was like, help me.
All lowercase, upside down letters. Just like, please. Oh my God. Well, and it's such a great problem to have when you're based in England because you're like a 3-hour flight from the most gorgeous locations on planet
Mm,
Earth. And so the truth is, where do you go? I wanted to ask about, I think partially one of the reasons you feel that too is because your husband travels for work and because also you have such an exciting job. I think oftentimes when it's like, well, where are you going this summer? It's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to relax and I
yeah.
not have to pack and move. And because there's an
Yeah.
element of performing when you're on vacation. You got to get the outfits together. You have to get your looks, pack everything with the kids and make sure everyone's happy. So you are a bit on, I think, when you're supposedly relaxing.
Absolutely. And I asked the question the other day, I was like, oh, what she thinks like, and they were like, oh, let's get a little villa somewhere. And it's like, hold on, then I'm going to be doing, because I'm the cook, so it's like, it's all going to be on me. This is not going to be a holiday sort of thing for me.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing as well. But I'm just really bad at at taking holidays like that. But then it's just overwhelming when you kind of go, where do we go? So if anybody's got a really nice villa for the end of
Yeah.
August that they want us to borrow, then just get in touch and we'll do some influencing for you.
A girl,
There we go. Or so
KOL, honey. I'll never forget
KOL.
that.
But on the holiday front, though, sometimes TV shows can be a really good inspiration about, oh, I want to go there. So that's what I'm kind of doing at the minute is watching loads of stuff that's set in really exotic places and going,
Smart.
"Aha, that's where I want to go."
By the way, my family, my parents and I, because of a TV show that you may not know called Below Deck Sailing Yacht, we went on a cruise to the Norwegian fjords because of that show. It may have been a different Below Deck because there was Below Deck Fjords. I don't know. It was one of the Below Decks where they were in Norway.
Amazing.
And my mom, who is so not, I come from people who shun adventure, okay? Like, and if there's adventure involved, they are like, we are not interested. No thanks. So this was so off the beaten path for my parents to want to do this, but it was an amazing cruise. And, I know cruises are quite controversial. I completely understand why. I do think that depending on where you go, there are major
Mm,
benefits as far as just being able to see things like that you need to see from water, like a fjord. But it started
yeah.
in Iceland. We went to 2 cities in Iceland. Obviously, it started in Reykjavik. And then we
Oh,
went
wow.
through to Norway. And I have to say, I want to do it again. It was just stunning. And it really opened up a side of me where I'm like, maybe I do want to hike waterfalls. Like, this is so beautiful. It was amazing.
Wow. Okay,
Recommend
making
it.
a note of that.
It actually does allow you to not have to then repack every night. And, the food is okay. It's not the best, but it doesn't really matter. You're there for the views. You get to go off the ship and you meet
Yeah.
literal freaks, which I love. Like, I love
Yeah.
meeting cruise ship freaks. That is like all day. I
Great
think you
places
might
to
like it.
hide. Yeah, all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. Yeah,
it's
totally.
fun. It's really fun.
Um, so we're going to be talking to Ella about the Other Bennet Sister. And this show's done. It's been so popular in the UK, and it's already kind of like really picking up noise in the States. Um, do you think it's going to, like, Americans are just going to really like fall for her in this show? Because I think they are.
I 100% think so. And I speak for myself when I say that when we got the screeners for this show, I thought, okay, another period drama. I was excited about it. And I swear from the first episode, well, first of all, as an American, let me say 30-minute episodes all day long. It is, you can breeze through the whole season literally. I mean, obviously watch it every week, but it just flies by the time. The look of it, the humor of it, the passion, the romance, the awkwardness. It is, I think it really does cross the ocean, if you will, when it comes to culturally speaking. It is something every American will absolutely identify with and fall in love with. And I'm sure you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. Where are you on the whole? Because I never read the books like the
No.
Austen. I was never kind of into all that growing up and stuff. It was not. It was not kind of part of my world. It's only really through film really that I got into kind of Austen's narrative. Really, I
Yeah.
guess. What about you?
Same like you. I was like kind of an edgy teen, so I wasn't into those. I was into like R-rated, like horror, not horror movies, but like psychological thrillers and like,
Yeah,
those kind of things. I read, like the Goodfellas book, Wise Guys. I was into mafia stuff. Like I was just such a
me
weird
too.
kid. I loved it. I wanted to be a mafia wife so badly. That was my dream growing up. I was like, oh my God. I would watch Goodfellas. Like that was my other Bennett sister. I was like, I want to be Karen and have this like
That's
crazy cheating
amazing.
hot husband who like is coked up all the time. I was like all day long.
Like,
Anyway, but I still wrote,
can I
yeah,
tell you a funny story about that world? Because I
please.
was obsessed with reading mafia books when I was like
You're kidding.
13 years old. Yeah,
So
this is
funny.
crazy. We went to Florida on holiday and we had to do a stop off in Boston on the way back. And it was like a 6 hour stop off. And at the time, I was reading a mafia book where a lot of it was set in, I think it was called Queen Street
Ooh.
Market in Boston, where a lot of like stuff went on and where a lot of, I guess it was their kind of main hangout. And I made my mum and dad take me into the center of Boston in this on this 6 hour layoff so that I could just see some of these places mentioned in this book. Till then we flew home.
I think that's so cute, by the way. Little girls obsessed with the mafia. I mean, Edith, look at us now, when we're the tough ones because we know what's out there. We know the world is not perfect. That is literally one of the cutest little things. Like most kids are like, we want to go to Disney. You're like, Mommy, take me where, Polly Walnuts got killed, got offed. Take me where they make them in. That's
Oh man.
hilarious.
Well, listen, I think it's probably about time that we got welcomed our guest in. We are so thrilled to welcome. You've heard her. We've talked about her so much in this episode and previous episodes. Please give a very special on the box welcome to Ella Bruccoleri. I'm really slightly giddy about this because if you have been listening to the podcast, you'll know how much we absolutely love this show.
Oh,
Ella, it's so great to have you here to
oh,
talk about it. How are you?
I'm I'm well.
Be honest.
I'm in New York and we had the premiere last night and I'm genuinely hanging. I was just like, because I'm really excited about doing this podcast and I was like, that feels unfair on me to schedule the premiere the night before doing this. So I was like,
I agree.
it feels unfair, right? So because I want to enjoy both things. But we had fun.
Good.
I
Yeah.
like that you're hungover because I think that now all your walls are down. We
Yeah.
can really go there
Oh,
now.
you can
You're
interrogate me and I will break. I
yes.
will completely break. Yeah.
What was the traumatic moment in your life? You said, I'm going to be an actress. Let's start with that.
Well, like,
When
yeah,
was that
it
moment?
didn't feel traumatic because I was like 4 years old or something.
Oh,
I
good.
just
Okay.
decided when I was like a baby, I was going to do it. And then
Oh.
because I'm a Taurus, I'm so headstrong. I'm just like, make a
Mm.
decision and then just stick to it. And And my mum took me to like a little, we moved town in Yorkshire, and my mum took me to like a little drama club so I could make friends. And um, I just did my first day and I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And then I came out and was like, Mum, I'm going to be an actor. And then I just, yeah, just did change my mind, which was nice.
I have to say, I always say that when people know when they're little like that, it is truly destiny. And having watched every episode of The Other Bennet Sister, and I want you to know, Ella, I don't do that for every show. I
Oh,
sat for an entire day. I binged every episode. It is
oh,
one of the greatest shows, and you are such a light in this show. This is truly like
Absolutely.
divine destiny that you became an actress because
no,
it is your calling. You are
thank you.
brilliant on it. How natural does it come to you? I mean, are you someone who like pores over scripts beforehand, or is it something that just flows through you
No,
naturally?
I'm not an instinctive actor at all. I'm like an obsessive actor. I'm very Mary Bennet in my approach to taking on roles. I attempt to like read all the things, watch all the things. My scripts look like I have some sort of like pathological problem because I'm just like they're like spider web of notes everywhere that ultimately it's hard to retain any of those notes when you're doing it. So you should just kind of feel it. Um, but I think I've always felt, I don't know, I've always found it really challenging in the best way. So I kind of always feel like something's just out of reach and I need to like unlock something via this revelatory thought that's going to come to me if I make millions of notes on something. Um so yeah, that's the kind of
Because the
actor I am.
script, I mean, imagine the script arrives with you for this character, and but the thing that we've talked about that we love about it is the physicality and the kind of little nuances that you've brought to it that I
Oh,
can't imagine anybody else kind of playing this role and it kind of jumping out the screen in the way that it has due to your performance. And I wanted to kind of ask you about what were the things that you kind of were really looking forward to kind of playing with this character and kind of leaning into and that you found with her.
yeah, gosh, that's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think because I think you can fall into a bit of a trap with period drama sometimes where you're like, I'm in a period drama, and the language is so archaic that you're like, I don't know, you kind of have seen so many of
Yeah.
shows of that genre that you can kind of play up to the genre a little bit and lose the humanity of what, you're just playing a person who happens to exist in 1810 or whatever. So when
Yeah.
I read Sarah's scripts, because Sarah, I was a big fan of Sarah Quintrell before this because I really loved her Channel 4 drama, Ellen. And it's just interesting to me that she was a writer who came from like social realism because she, I think, has sort of done that in her writing with the period drama where you just believe these characters as human beings.
Yeah.
And the dialogue just felt really real to me and really almost kind of messy. And it was still, she nails that archaic language of the time, but it just feels real. So um, I had a lot of joy with just thinking, well, that's what I'm going to try and do with this is just create someone who's multifaceted and try my best to create someone who's very real. And I did think when we were doing it, is this going to be cohesive at all? Because we showcase all the different sides to Mary, and I was like, is this going to make any sense? Is this too many sides to someone's personality? And at some point, you need to reduce it down so it makes sense. But I think that was the joy of it, was trying to do that.
I also will say that as someone who was an outcast as a child, I hope no longer, but who,
Oh,
was like the weird girl, the smart girl, the reader. Why I really loved this show was, and like any show where that girl ends up becoming the subject of someone's desire, which, is a very exciting prospect when you're, do you think that she was in this character even aware that these men were interested in her, or is she just so baffled by even any attention she was getting? Because
yeah.
it's really fun watching that realization take over. And again, your physicality is so brilliant. And I brought up in an earlier episode how just watching your face flush,
Yeah.
how did you do that? I mean, there's so many
Yes.
things. I'm like, what?
I mean, my face will probably flush in this interview because I do have a naturally quite flushed. I'm doing it now, just talking about it. So
No,
I can
honestly, I
flush
see
on
it.
cue because I just think about flushing and it just happens to my face. But no, I think
And the award for flushing goes
yeah,
to
if they
Oh my God,
presented a
amazing.
BAFTA for flushing, I feel like I'd be in with a shot. I think no, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think Mary is I believe Mary's genuinely oblivious to male attention until it's really like spelt out for her. Until someone's like on down on one knee proposing to her, she doesn't really understand that that person would be interested in her. Um, which I think partly comes from this idea that she's like, oh, it's so tragic, but just sort of been told that she's innately unlovable by her mom, hasn't she, growing up? So
Oh,
it's really hard for her to get her head around the fact that anyone would be genuinely interested. Um, but I don't know. I drew on a little bit of my own like of my own self when I was doing that because I when I'm like talking to people, I just never in a million years would think that it was like a flirtation or like, do you know
yeah.
what I mean? For me, like it's
Yeah.
always this is someone who could be a good friend, but to like I always would like friend zone it from the off. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And never attempt to make anything more. And I think we the press that we've been doing out here, it's nice because I've been doing it with the boys, and they've been speaking a lot about
Oh,
how
awesome.
the friendships that she has with both suitors is really nice to see the friendships play out before it becomes super romantic. I
Mm.
think,
We
yeah.
say both boys. There's more than one.
Oh,
I
there
mean, that's
is.
the lovely thing. It's like with the optician, we both had a soft
Oh,
spot. We were like, oh, she's found him,
we
with the
loved him.
optician, and then,
Oh,
and then the kind of weird, slightly the kind of half cousiny vibe thing that was going on as well. And it's
Yeah, well, no, there's sort of four potentials in a way, aren't there?
yeah,
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 and lots of
totally.
people are Team Sparrow right up until the end. I know my boyfriend in real life is very Team Sparrow. He still wants
mm.
it to
I love
happen.
that. I
He's
love that.
still wants it to happen with Sparrow. Yeah, because without spoiling anything, he might re-enter her life later down the line. Um,
Mm.
Mm.
so it's a lot for Mary, isn't it? It's
Yeah, no,
quite a
she's
lot.
like,
That's great for her.
It's quite a lot to handle when you've been told that you're not marriage material, and then suddenly you've got all the options.
Got a
So,
football team
yeah,
waiting right in front of you,
exactly,
basically.
literally,
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
like, that wasn't my experience. So I was furious with that. I
right,
was like, wait, what?
right,
Like,
right.
but I
Sure,
loved it for her.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's
It's a
not true to
great
life. Yeah, go on,
Yeah,
Edith.
the show has been like, I mean, how it's been received in the UK is one thing, but you obviously saying you're in New York. It's grown arms and legs, and the fans are really connecting with it. And I think it's a fair sign when you start with the whole kind of fan art that starts kind of
I know.
making its way onto socials. It's brilliant.
I sort of can't believe it. I find it all a bit crazy because I'm on Instagram, so I see a lot of lovely things on that. People doing fan art, people doing full like animations of Mary and Tom and other people. But what's been really nice is I mean, I'm not on TikTok, so I'm kind of saved from a lot of
Mm.
the people do these fan edits of the characters. And that sort of like propels the marketing of the show. It's like almost you don't need to market the show because the fans just market it for
Yeah.
you. So then it just kind of snowballs. I'm just like quite overwhelmed by all of it. It's
It's
crazy.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of that fan art too. I mean, there's so much talent out there, but then sometimes you see some fan art and you're like, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah. No.
I was in a good mood
Oh
until
yeah,
I saw
no,
this
sure.
fan art.
There's some questionable. My friend, my one of my best friends, Zoe, keeps messaging me being like, "Don't worry, you don't look like that in real life." And I
Yeah.
then I worry about because she hasn't sent me the picture. She's just sent me that message. So I'm
Oh,
like, what has she
no.
seen? But actually, I think I kind of think a lot of them are spot on. Even the less flattering ones, I'm like, it's still captured an essence, hasn't it? So I'm
For
kind of like,
sure.
put them all out there. Put them all
Oh,
out
wow.
there.
You're such a brave, you said you were a Taurus. By the way, happy early birthday. I'm
Oh,
assuming your
thank you.
birthday's
Yeah, it's coming up.
coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Happy early
Yeah,
birthday.
thank you very much.
I have another question that I was thinking about watching it because I have a theory with some people that I work with, women. We call ourselves brother girls. We are all girls who never had sisters. We only had
Mm.
brothers. And we do think that there's a different dynamic when you grow up in a house with brothers
Mm-hmm.
than when you have
Yeah.
sisters. Now, obviously, Mary is a sister girl. She's got 4 sisters. Did you grow up with brothers or sisters? And Edith, I want you to know this about you as well, because I do think it shapes who you are, especially as a woman, when it comes to how you approach other women,
Yeah.
other men. Like it changes you a little bit. Were you a brother girl or a sister girl?
Well, I don't know about you, Edith. I don't have a sister. I only have one brother. And
Brother
Same.
girl.
are you the same? Are you younger or older?
Younger brother.
Yeah, same. Younger brother.
Ah, older brother.
Really?
Funny. Go on.
I think
Yes.
I'm trying to think how it's changed. I found it more difficult to interact or relate to women growing up because I just had my brother, and then I found myself in groups of women, and I found it difficult to know like the rules of the interaction, like the currency of it, I suppose. I think.
Yeah.
Are you the same?
That's so interesting. Yeah, I think so. But I also think that that's also heightened because my mum is one of 7 girls.
Right.
So I
Wow.
almost had this kind of this stage of women that I could see
Right.
them all, their different roles they took on, the different dynamics and relationships. And I was probably like overwhelmed by kind of femaleness.
Right.
And that even as a kid, I was a real tomboy.
Yes, so was
almost
I. Yeah.
I'll leave that over there and I'll kind of head
Yes.
towards that maybe.
But yeah, I would think that growing up with sisters and watching how Mary interacted with her sisters, I was like, oh, I would not have survived that. Like
Oh.
having competitive
Yeah.
women
Oh
against
my
me.
God.
No.
But it's it's just an easier comparison to make, isn't it? When you're all the same gender, it's like, Mary's just so directly compared with these other women around her, which is so unfair because it takes so many different types of women, right? There are so many different types of women in the world. And just
Yeah.
because Mary doesn't fit into the same box of womanhood as her sisters, she suddenly feels other. I feel like that's, lots of people struggle with that, I think.
And it's really interesting how one particular sister is literally a kind of like mini me of mum. Do you know what I mean?
Lydia.
How she's so evil
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Mary.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
shut up.
Thank you. Thank you. Grace. I think Grace does a great job. Does such a great job playing Lydia. But yeah, then you've kind of got Kitty who's like emulating Lydia, so they're in their own little group. I mean, when Janice Hadlow's book, she speaks about the sibling relationship so perfectly, because she goes into loads of detail about their childhoods together and how kind of like Lizzie and Jane at a certain point separated and formed this really strong bond, and Kitty and Lydia have always had this really strong bond, and Mary kind of finds herself in the middle of those two partnerships, and she doesn't have an ally, she doesn't have a best friend in the family, which is like, so in a big family, you'd think there'd be someone that you could turn to, but there
Yeah.
isn't, which is sad. Yeah.
But then she gets adopted essentially by this almost otherworldly kind,
Yeah.
wealthy family. I'm like, where did these people pop up
I
from? Just
know.
the nicest.
I know.
Buying her clothes. I'm like, what is
know.
this pretty woman
I know.
fantasy? Oh
I
my
know.
An
God.
uncle, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they're so bohemian and so gorgeous, aren't they? And they just teach her like another way of looking at the world and another way of being that she doesn't. They're just like they teach her to just see the bright side of everything, which she hasn't
That's right.
been taught. Yeah, it's kind
And
of crazy.
celebrate her as well, which I like. They really celebrate her and they really encourage her to celebrate herself.
Yeah, totally, and not change who she is. That scene where they go to the dressmakers and choose fabrics, and you can tell that Mrs. Gardner's a bit like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go for the pink trim with the lime green?" But Mary's like, "Yeah, I do want to do it," and so Mrs. Gardner's like, "Okay, then do it. That's great." And for the first time to be told that you can trust your own instinct in that way, and just do something
Very
that
nice.
wear the stuff that makes you happy is
Yeah.
a revelation. Yeah.
The cast's amazing. I had such a weird experience because I'd watched the show and then I went to actually interview Donald, who plays Mr. Hayward, for young Sherlock. And out pops this very rugged Irish accent. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Had no
yeah.
idea.
I know.
It's amazing.
But he stayed in accent. I think he hates it when I say this because I think he thinks it makes him sound like a sort of like,
Robert De Niro.
Yeah. But he did stay in accent the whole time, which I've done for jobs before. When you're
Ooh.
struggling with the accent and you're like, this is just going to be really helpful to stay in it. When we'd clock off, he'd go back to being his lovely Irish self, but he'd stay in his Sheffield accent for the whole of filming. And
I get
and
that.
he nails it, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally.
Ella, we had your hilarious, amazing co-star Ruth Jones on a few weeks ago who
Yeah.
played your mother on the show, and truly like a star role. And she was raving about working with you, and
Oh.
specifically about, like we said earlier, how you always had your script with you.
Oh yeah.
And you're always taking the notes on the script.
Yeah.
Was it hard having her as your mom? Because she's so funny and charming as a human being, and then she's so cruel to you as your mother. Is it?
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's what acting is, right? But
Yes.
was it tough to like switch into that?
Well, I think did Ruth tell you this? I think she did, that she would apologize to me after every take. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was like, Ruth, we're acting, it's fine. She felt so guilty. She felt so guilty, I think, because like she does say some pretty cruel things. But no, I think lucky that it was her doing it, because I just felt like really like she would crack me up so much. Like when we have to do sort of little comedy two-handers and stuff, I was just struggling so much. So you had the levity as well as the like brutality of
Mm.
that relationship. But oh God, I love working with her. Yeah,
Oh, no, she's
so much.
amazing. I want to know, when it comes to like costumes and locations and everything, I imagine that immersing yourself in that world has to really almost feel like time traveling, because we watched some behind the scenes stuff that was really beautiful about the locations, the lake scene, your stunning costumes and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point does it click in for you when you're like, I'm Mary now, don't approach me as Ella? Like,
Yeah.
do you go full Jim Carrey, like Robert De Niro on these
Can you
parts?
imagine if I went full Andy Kaufman, Jim Carrey, like being insane? No, I still just tried to, I mean, fully enjoy Ella's experience of filming it all. But when you're in those places, God, you get so much of it for free, don't you? Because we filmed in like incredible stately homes with like grounds that go on forever, and you're just
Mm.
in these places where it's the world that those buildings experience that part of history. And then the costumes, I had my fitting with Sian Jenkins, who did all the costumes, and she was like, we're going to hand make, well, not her personally, but a team of people were going to hand make all Mary's dresses. And I was like, I've never had that before in a job where they're going to, I mean, we had so many fittings because they were like literally sewing it so intricately to fit my body. And I just was like, that's wild. And they got the authentic patterns from the time and made up these dresses. So it's, I mean, like the level of detail that goes into it is insane, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. One of the things I love about your performance in this show is the kind of the storytelling that happens non-verbally and the kind of physical side of things, like with the glasses and things and the facial expressions and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know that you trained at, or you'd spent some time at the Lecoq School.
Well,
yeah.
I was just going to say, before you go any further, Edith, this has like gone down as like a folkloric thing, but I didn't go.
I'm crying.
Oh.
Edith just wanted to say the name of the
but
school. Let's be honest, and it's okay.
I did go to mime school, so you're not far off the mark. I did go to
Oh,
mime
Did you
school. Yeah,
really?
I did. So it's not. It's just that I
Wow.
didn't go to Lecoq because I think it's been referenced, and then either I just went with it or something. I just didn't say clearly enough. I actually didn't go to Lecoq. You had Lecoq, and then you had like this like tiny mime school in Belleville that was just like had no running water, and so that was the one that I was at. But I would have loved to have gone to Lecoq. I didn't think I was going to be in Paris long enough to go to Lecoq, so I didn't audition. But I did study mime. Please don't ask
What?
me to do it.
No, I'm not going to ask you to
Okay.
do it, because you already are
Okay.
trapped in a box in a way in this
yes,
little
I
camera.
am. Yeah, exactly.
But what do they teach you at mime school? Because obviously, as an American, what do we think? Pulling the rope. I don't even know what else it is.
Yeah.
What are they teaching you there?
Honestly, I was so surprised on my first day there because so much of it is not, you're not doing mime. You're just in your body, and we would just isolate little bits of our body, but you'd spend like a whole day on just like isolating one finger or something. Do you know what I mean? And then
What?
you'd spend another day just like
Wow.
isolating. So because I didn't really like graduate to the point where I was like, I can now do full mime. I was kind of just, I used it as an experience to just kind of be in my body. And I was like, it was a kind of technique for like really focusing on like a particular part of my body every time I went, which was kind of interesting. But I can't, pull a rope.
I was going to say, your finger work in this show is shockingly good. It makes sense.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
Glad
welcome.
somebody's
But I imagine
noticed. Yeah.
part of that, yeah, I imagine part of that and that kind of thing though really helps with like losing inhibitions and kind of, sort of just allowing yourself to not be kind of too influenced by things.
Yeah.
And
Well, I just think as an actor,
yeah,
it's really helpful because I don't know, some actors are really good at it, but sometimes
Mm.
you're just like, you're feeling all the things and your thoughts, but you're like, what are my arms doing? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how to, like, you're like, why is my body doing this? It doesn't feel like I'm inhabiting it. They say when the people say be in your body the whole time, and it's a bit like hard to know what that is or what that looks like. But
Mm.
you know it when you feel it, don't you?
Mm.
So yeah, helpful for that, I think.
You're in New York now, and as an American, I'm also on the East Coast, by the way, at the
Oh,
moment.
cool.
What's your take on Americans? I gotta know.
Oh,
Obviously,
God.
say nice things, but
True.
do you love when you're in New
Oh,
York?
Michelle.
I
God,
know.
you
I'm
fishing.
really desperate. I'm
Fishing.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, obvious.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah.
What's the biggest difference, I guess, between you think Americans and the English when you come here?
We are so self-deprecating to the point of like it just comes across as like self-hatred, like we hate
Yes.
ourselves,
It's true.
and you're just good. I think yours is like a normal level of being able to of self-confidence, like being able to sell yourself. But I don't know what you think, Edith, but I just like I'll just say something off the cuff of like, no, I'm not. Like someone would be like, oh, you're really good in that show. I'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm terrible in that show. Or something.
Yeah.
That's
And you're
normal.
actually not supposed to say that, are you? Supposed to just receive the compliment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not taking compliments. You're so bad at taking
Yeah,
compliments. It's
so
like
bad. Yeah.
it's just let it sit. Like I remember like I would always do that thing. Someone goes, "Oh, I really like your top" or whatever, and I'd be
Yeah.
go, "Oh yeah, it's Top Shop" or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Or it's,
Yeah.
Just
someone
immediately
just said it
tried
to
to
me
play
when I
it down.
came in. It was like, "Yeah, oh, I really like your shirt." Oh, just good old Zara, and
Yeah.
kind of it's
Found
like
it in the
Yeah.
trash
Yeah.
outside. Sorry.
just say thanks.
Yeah, just say
Yeah.
thanks. Or when I feel like I have to play all the aspects of my life really down to make other people feel better about, when you do that and you're like, yeah. So that's a big difference. Don't you think, Michelle?
I love that. I do. But I mean, I do that too because I think it shows when you, for example, with the shirt example, Edith, it shows like, I'm not anything. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm
Yeah.
garbage also.
Yeah.
This is, so we do that, or at least I do, but I'm also very self-deprecating and,
Okay.
I'm locked into English culture,
Yeah.
but you're absolutely right. I think that we definitely lead with smiles more often than the Brits. Like, the British people, I always want, like on a rainy day in London, I always feel like everyone looks like they've just been born. Like it's like newborn incubator face. Everyone's just like, don't talk to me, get away. Whereas, we can keep a smile on our face a little
Sure.
longer, I think.
I think,
Yeah.
well, everyone, you're so enthusiastic over here. Like, it's just
Yeah.
so, like, at the party last night, everyone was so happy and enthusiastic. But it's hard to know. I'm like, I hope it's all real. But sometimes you're like, it's hard to
is.
know, is it? Okay, well, that's good.
No,
But
it is. And I'll say, and we don't have to go for that. I lived in Amsterdam for 2 years,
Okay.
and being around Dutch people has made me welcome American friendliness with a way that I
Right.
never knew I could.
Right,
It
okay.
really shows you the stark difference because English people are still friendly. Like,
it's a different vibe, isn't it? It's a different way of expressing it. Yeah, we keep it more locked in. Like, you can think nice thoughts, but don't say them. Don't say them out
God
loud.
forbid.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
What were some of the what are some of the responses you've had then from from like last night at the premiere in America and stuff,
Oh.
because it's really caught on and it's really people are loving it. It's
Yeah.
not, there's something about this story, this character that with American audiences is really connecting.
Well, we did this. We had a screening as part of the premiere, but after episode 1, someone shouted "Yas, Queen!" Like after someone "Yas, Queen!" And I was like, "You never get." Can you imagine that in the UK? Someone shouting that after an episode. So I was like, "That's great." That kind of says it
Yeah.
all about the response. And yeah, but like such a wide demographic of people connecting with it over here. I suppose definitely in the UK as well. But I'm just like, oh, everyone because sometimes you think it's a certain type of person that watches a period drama, maybe, and you like,
Yeah.
and actually just loads of different people coming up and saying they connect with the show, and I'm just like, yeah, that's nice
Yeah.
to know that like transcends different. Yeah, I just feel very happy. Yeah.
I mean, I literally could not. I was binged it. I don't remember the last time I've binged a period
Oh.
drama. So that is, and it really, Ella, I'm not just saying this because you're staring at us. It is because of you and your performance on the show. And I know you don't want to hear compliments. Well, too bad, sister. Because
Yeah. Here
I
it
mean,
comes.
technically they're paying me to say this, but I'm saying it from the goodness of my heart.
Yeah,
You
literally, this is
are-
where I puke. Yeah.
No, truly, please throw up.
Yeah.
You are just so realistic and fantastic and sympathetic. You know, as I think a viewer watching you, everybody is rooting for you. And like, you have all these guys coming after you and you're like, we're living through this character in such a beautiful way. And that's why I wanted to know about your upbringing and like if you were the odd girl out, because it was so authentic to me.
Oh, that's
To
really
everybody.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I do think I experienced that growing up, but then I sort of feel like because it's funny because when I read her scripts and when I connected to Mary, I read her scripts and I was going to audition for it, and I connected with it in like a really visceral way. Like I had this like really viscerally emotional reaction where I was like, oh, maybe there's some stuff I haven't unpacked here in my own life, where I obviously just there's something that really hits a nerve with me here. And I thought that's quite a special connection to have. But then when I started on the job, everyone, like all the makeup artists, like, you know, people in script, whatever, were coming up to me and saying, I'm that character. That was my childhood. So I was like, okay, it's actually not just me that had this experience. A lot of people feel that they had an experience where I think growing up in school especially is really difficult, right? So I definitely had times, I definitely was bullied, and I definitely had times of feeling like I was just like didn't know how to navigate that experience, I suppose. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like difference is not celebrated at school,
No.
is it? It's not. If you're different in any way, even like the smallest way, it's like we're gonna shine a light on that and make you
Yeah.
feel really small for that. Which is, I think such a mad thing, because then that's what you learn growing up into adulthood, that you're like, okay, I've got to blend in and make myself part of this like homogenized bubble of people to survive, which is so actually not the case, because the more different you are when you're an adult, the more you kind of are celebrated and able to stand out and do something with your life, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
So
totally. It's so amazing, like sort of looking up the trajectory of, you know, this with the Other Bennet Sister and this lead role, but all these other fantastic roles that you've had and shows that you've worked on and performance that we've seen. You know, we had talked about The Lady on the show, so we had
yeah.
Mary McKenna Bruce
Oh, I
and
love
Ed
Mia.
on the
Yeah.
show. Great show.
Yeah.
I loved Down Cemetery Road. I thought was amazing as well. And yeah, there's just so many great shows that you've been part of. And I guess it's Paddington in Peru, have
Yeah.
to mention that as well.
Just all of 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bookish.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody loved Bookish, is brilliant.
Yeah.
But I imagine you take something away from each of those experiences that's kind of like another tool in your, you know, your belt sort of thing, so to speak, or an
Yeah.
experience.
I definitely do. And I also am quite conscious of, it's quite a nice parameter to have when you've done a character that might be slightly similar on the page, to try and make it different, because I'm like, I don't want to do the same thing I've done. So that's quite nice. And I've just been so lucky to do so many different like genres, and also like traveling the world, getting to do things. And working with amazing people. I don't know how this has happened. I'm just happy.
And you're in a band.
And I'm in a
Wait,
band.
also you're in a band. We
Yeah.
need to bring it up, called Marry Me Emily.
It
that
is called
like
Marry Me Emily. It's quite a twee name, isn't it? But because
you?
we formed when we formed like 10 years ago, so we thought that was a cool name. I quite like it. I like it.
It's very cute.
It's cute, yeah.
Are you a singer? What's your role in the band?
I'm a singer and I write the songs with my
Amazing.
collaborator Johan Sego. But we're like a 6-piece band now. It's very so we've
Wow.
got so it's cool, and we're playing gigs in the
When's
autumn.
your next gig?
In November is the next one that's booked, but then we're going to try and line up some warm-up gigs. We're playing the Lower Third in Denmark Street on November the 11th. But that's like our biggest gig, because I hardly get any time to do it because I'm always acting.
course.
So we like try to fit little bits around stuff, but we're kind of building because
God.
we haven't had much time to dedicate to it. But yeah,
How'd you describe the music? I hate asking people that
No,
question. Sorry, it's
I mean,
such a shit question.
I know my answer, but I don't. Sometimes you're like, how accurate is this? I always say Americana, alt country, folk
Ooh.
arena. I sort of Fleetwood Mac, kind of.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, sort of.
My favorite. By the way,
Yeah.
50th anniversary of Rumors. If you can imagine, that is how old that album is. Yes.
That's crazy.
Can you believe?
Because the
I know.
album still sounds so fresh, doesn't it, when you hear that? You
Isn't
could
it
be like,
nuts? I know.
Ella,
yeah.
I am in for Joe Wiley on Monday night on Radio 2.
What are you
and
going to
I
say?
am going to play "Marry Me, Emily"
No,
on
Edith.
Monday night on
No,
Radio
don't.
2.
God,
Why
that
not?
would make my
So
dreams come
English.
true.
Take it.
That would make my dreams come
Just say,
true.
great, okay, yes, do that.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. You might listen to it and hate it and be like, I'm not playing
No, I
this
am
shit.
definitely going to play it
Well,
on Monday night.
there's a
Oh
couple of
my
good
God.
songs. There's a couple of good songs on there. But
I'm excited.
Edith,
I have
that's
to
really
hear
nice.
it. Edith is the best.
We got
That's
I
so
like
new
that.
exciting.
music coming out in a few weeks, actually. Just a couple of singles. But
Get in.
but
God, you're like so many strings to your bow.
I find it's so hard to juggle though, because even like doing that, we booked in time so we could record the next music video for the next single, and then I
Ooh.
think my agents come through with like a Royal Court workshop, and I'm like, I'd want to do both, but I booked in that date, so I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just hard to juggle two things at once, isn't it?
You say you find it hard juggling it all. Jessie Buckley does it. You know, she did that
I
album
know.
with Bernard Butler.
Yeah, she did. That was a
and
really
you know what I
cool
mean? So
album.
it's
That was like Mercury nominated, wasn't it? That album. I
Yeah,
remember listening to it. I think it was really good.
Mm.
I don't know how. I need to ask her for tips because I guess because like, you know, my agent's really good because she was like, if you want to take a year off and just do the music, I'll support that. That's great. Like, she's a big fan of the band, so that's really nice. But ultimately, I think it's hard as an actor to get out of the mindset that you need to keep on working to keep the momentum, because you're used to feeling like it's so fragile all the time. Like, you're like, well, if I take like a few months off, then everyone's going to forget who I am and I'm going to lose all this work. And it's, I think, probably just really important to remind yourself that it's okay to do that you don't need to like
Yes.
keep going,
Mm.
that you can have a break because you've built a foundation.
Can I bring up two of your upcoming projects, because the name Star Power. So
Yeah.
you're with Olivia Colman and Alexander Skarsgård in Wicker, and also with friend of the pod who was just on Hugh Bonneville in Go Away! ! Love that title.
Yeah.
What can you share? You really are literally working yourself to the bone. What are these projects?
Oh God. So I'm really bad at elevator pitches, I will just say, but I'll do my best. So
Great. We've got 3 hours. Hit it. Yeah.
I
We're
love
really
doing
pushing
that.
on this hangover to the maximum, aren't we? It's
Really
like,
are.
Do you
Yeah,
mind?
you're all like enjoying
what's
every
Olivia's
moment in this.
birthday?
Yeah. No, it's sort of an easy one to sell, that one. It's called Wicker, and it's basically about not my words, a smelly fisherwoman played by Olivia
Okay.
Colman.
Hilarious.
It's in this village, and the society is really patriarchal, basically, and all the men are kind of miserable with all the women are kind of miserable with their husbands, and the men are just trying to showboat all the time. Is that what you say? Showboat, yeah. And the smelly fisherwoman who's ridiculed in the town decides to commission a husband made out of wicker, and played by Alexander Skarsgård, and it's all practical effects, none of it's special effects. So he just
Wow.
actually wears this like wicker suit that moves with his body, and it's all like hand weaved. It's crazy, and it's quite a hard role for him because you could only see his eyes, but yet he portrays it with like such sensitivity and beauty. And basically what happens is the wicker husband is like this really sensitive
Aw.
man who's in touch with his feelings. He's like a therapized man, basically. So he's
Imagine.
just
I'm like, yeah, that's
It's
why
like-
this is fiction, right? It's
Yeah.
a fictional role.
Yes,
Go
exactly.
on.
So he arrives in the town, and everyone starts questioning everything about their social dynamics and their relationship dynamics, because the men feel threatened by him and the women are kind of seduced by him, but then that starts like casting doubt on their own relationships. And then you just kind of watch it play out, and it sends the village into like a frenzy.
Wow.
And it's really cool, and it's funny. It's a comedy.
oh, can't
But it's got
wait.
Olivia Colman in it. She's obviously the best actor in the world. Sorry to
Oh
all
my
the
God,
other
I have
actors,
a
but
crush on a big wicker man. It
Yes.
just occurs to me.
Oh,
I'm like, wait,
yeah.
I'm in love with a wicker
oh,
man.
you 100% will be when once
Okay.
you watch this film. So that's
Oh my God.
that's coming out in the autumn, I think. It's good. I
How
went to Sundance.
exciting.
I saw it. It was really good. And then Go Away. I don't know when that's coming out, but it's got Hugh Bonneville and Michael Socher in it, and it's all set in one house. And it's like it's like a stoner comedy, sort of. It's like we're growing weed in the attic and we're trying to hide it from the police. And then Hugh Bonneville turns up out of nowhere, and he's plays this guy who's like wearing full like fishing gear, and he's like trying to help us. It's a bit crazy. I don't know how to explain that film, but it's really good. It's
Oh my
very
God, a lot
funny.
of
They're both
fishing
very
themes.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering how good a performer you are, both in terms of the acting and the singing chops, obviously in the show, there's Mary's, bless her, she has a moment where,
Yeah.
I mean, her heart's in it, but
Yeah,
it's not the performance she wishes
It's
for.
not the performance of a lifetime.
Having to sing badly is not easy
No,
if you
it's.
can sing.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this is going to be really difficult because I'm an all right singer and it's going to be really hard. And I'll be honest with you, it was not hard because I was so nervous. I was so nervous.
Oh.
I guess it was because I was playing piano. I got really nervous whenever I had to play the piano because I'm not a piano player. They taught me how to play piano, and I was like, my heart would beat so fast in a way that I rarely felt on a film set prior. You know, I just was like, it's not my comfort zone. And it's such an iconic moment from the original Pride and Prejudice. And also we had all these journalists on set that day to see that moment. So there was like this room full of journalists watching it. I was just like, oh God. There was no time for rehearsal, so I just had to get up and do it. And so I just let my nerves, I let my voice crack. I was like, let the nerves let your voice crack. Don't try and too hard to control your voice. And that's all I did. So
Wow.
I didn't try to sing badly, but which is embarrassing. I think it
My
works.
God, whoever organised those journalists coming on set that day needs to be fired, because that is the most evil thing I've ever heard.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
guys.
They were all loving it.
We've probably got the most testing moment for you, Ella,
Oh,
before we let you go,
God.
considering this hangover is you've survived amazingly.
Don't know
Well
Amazing.
done, yeah.
I'm gonna like curl up
I
in a
only
ball.
want you hungover, by the way. I don't want to know you not hungover. Like, imagine, she'd be too good.
It's a little kind of fun thing that we like to do called Revival, and we ask our guests if they could revive
Yeah.
one of your favourite British TV shows,
Oh
what would
my
it be?
God, are you being serious?
Could be a one-off, could be a mini-series, Christmas special. Would you be in it? I mean, what? Yeah.
Favorite British? Does it have to be like British made through and through? Yeah, I suppose.
It
Because
could be any,
Well,
honestly,
okay.
I
Whatever
think
you
it could
want.
be any show.
Okay.
Right? I think
I
let's expand it to world shows.
I would say because I struggle with this because it's like when something's so good, I almost don't want it to be revived. Do you ever
Yeah.
feel that with
Yeah.
things? So you're like, I don't
Yeah.
want to touch that because Father Ted. I love Father Ted so much, but I wouldn't want to see them do a remake of Father Ted with
I don't think they
without
could with
Ted.
the new Ted.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd probably say Flight of the Conchords then.
Oh yeah, great
Oh,
show.
Band meeting.
Yeah, band meeting. Yeah, I think I would because I'd love to see that come back because I know that they'd have brilliant material because I saw when they did their last tour and they had loads of new then loads of new songs and stuff, so they'd have enough to do another series.
my
I think.
Foo-foo-fa-fa.
Foo-foo-fa-fa-fa-fa. Foo-doo-fa-fa. Aya. I love it. We're massive. We know all the words to every song. That was like my childhood was like listening to my teenage years was listening to Fight of the Conchords, memorizing the lyrics, and then we'd perform it. Me and my friend Chloe would perform it at the front of class without telling the teacher. We'd just get up and like go into these these improvised Flight of the Conchords moments. So I'd bring that back.
Well, I'm going to say if they revive it, they need to bring you on it. What with your acting chops and your singing voice and your passion, Ella, and your hangover, I think they'd be foolish.
I think I could
not
play
to
Mel.
bring you
If
back.
Mel doesn't want to do it, I think I might make a decent Mel because I'm a bit like Mel in real life. So I'm like, yeah, I think I could do Mel. I'm just putting
I'm
that out there
serious.
if she's not available.
Oh.
Yes. Well, we'll make that happen. We'll make it happen for you. You are like just fabulous. And you know what I knew, and I know Edith knows this, I knew that we'd all be friends. I was like, I can tell watching the show that like in real life, you were someone that I'd be like, let's get drinks. Let's go be stupid. And like you, in the best way, you
I'm
fulfilled
sad
that
you didn't get
prophecy.
my non-hungover self. I am because it's
I'm
amazing.
No, I
not.
like this version.
We
like you.
Oh, that's nice. It's
Michelle and I are going to be your groupies down the front for the next show. So
come.
that's going to be
Yes.
for Marry Me Emily. So yeah, we'll see you
And
there.
I'm really tall. I'm going to piss a lot of people off behind me, but I don't care.
Good.
That's my
You
passion
front,
for the
front and
band.
center. Yeah. Own it. No, thank
Done.
you very much
Um,
for having me. It's been lovely.
Ella, go and have a lie down.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
thanks for your time, my love.
Go
Thank
feel better.
you.
I am obsessed with her, and I liked her hungover. I know I'd love her sober and fresh. I mean, she is just really down to earth, and that's all I ask in my stars, in my great talents. Just be down to earth, and she absolutely killed it.
I am going straight online to buy tickets for her band's next performance, and she's brilliant. I'm so glad that she's getting the recognition for this show, and we got the chance to have her on this show. I'm so excited about what's next. What a superstar.
Superstar. And also, by the way, good on you. Can we just give it up for Edith Bowman? What a heart of gold to play her song on radio too. You know, always thinking of others. Just a true delight.
Oh, bless you. That's very kind of you to say. I'm going to say thank you, Michelle. You see, with that compliment, I'm going to take it.
Yes, she's dying inside, but she's saying thanks, and that's good enough for me, everybody. So I want to say thank you for joining us here at On the Box. Please, we will see you next week. Be sure to watch all the amazing shows on The Box, especially The Other Bennet Sister, which is streaming now. I'm Michelle Collins.
I'm Edith Bowman, and we'll see you next time. You've been listening to On the Box, hosted by Edith Bowman and Michelle Collins. The music was by Dario Forzato and Canio Claudio Tristano, courtesy of 411 Music. Research and additional material by Angela Channel. The mix engineer was Arlie Adlington. The production coordinator was Caroline Barlow. The production manager was Katie Borm. The production executive was Ian Hayden. The executive producers for BritBox are Alana McGahey and Diane Robina. And executive producer for BBC Studios is Pete Strauss. The producer was Rajiv Karia. On the Box is a BBC Studios production for BritBox.